ruining childhoods.
Bro, so all listen.
That's what's happening.
Sham.
So this is a big problem though.
No, that don't even sound right.
Bro, this is a big problem. They trying to Mandela affect us with these lyrics, bro.
like it.
That mug Usher said on the video, it's his song. He said, it's 7 o'clock on the dot, and I'm in my drop top, cruising the streets.
Nah, it's
that man said, who's in the streets?
Cruising.
On the
It's a C on that joint, dog.
Hey, calm down.
No, hold on, wait.
Calm
I do
down.
karaoke. Wait. In the video, wasn't he cruising?
In the video, he's
just
cruising.
saying on the boat, it said cruising.
Hey, on the lyrics, it say cruising. But this mug want to act like it said, oh no, the lyrics say cruising.
Okay.
But he said who's in the video, so now there's a whole pandemonium going on. And I'm not gonna lie to you, you can't be changing all my songs as I get older,
You
man.
know how you capping? You know how you capping? What's the next line?
I was
Real pretty.
It don't matter who in the streets, you already got somebody.
Well, no, that's the thing. though.
How?
He said I got a real pretty, but
Waiting
also
for me.
who's in the streets?
Waiting for me.
No. You got somebody waiting on you. You got your appointment for the
Mind
day
blown.
already. Don't matter who's in the street.
Who had a white woman in here? Anyway, Breeze Nation, what's good? It's your boy Panther Designer back at it again. We got the squad in the building. Yeah. Hope Joe's wife's not watching this. As always, man, super producer Joel Holt, the
you know
pettiest
my
man
ain't
alive.
worried about it.
Mr. P. Kid, of course. Mr. Sleepy Meaty himself, Jordan JC.
I was like, it's another episode of Pat Solo. Huh?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I need to get it together. I'm sorry,
You
guys.
know how I know you're solo? Because you ain't on the thumbnail.
Hey, he was on the original and then I took him off. He was on the original and then I took him off.
Oh, you ain't on the thumbnail. I'm like, yeah, Pat did that solo. Oh, you got to look at it.
Man, formerly known as Ringo J. Stefan and Don in the building. Of course, Mr. Drew Better. If you knew better, you do better. Say, who better? Nobody, bro.
Like, every time I'm gone, he's like, yep, Pat.
Hey, he was on the thumbnail. We had him on there, but he didn't make it. Hey, we got a lot to get into on today's episode, man. We got to talk about, is the pressure still on Ryan Poles to perform? And why the heck did you spell acne like that?
You know what? I was rushing.
Disney?
No, spell check, and it was racing. Sorry,
It was racist?
I was racing.
Oh,
Sorry. I
okay.
was trying to hear it done. So,
He been wild today. We also got to talk about, is acne actually being proven right? There's a lot of things going right with the Bulls right now, and pro tankers are losing their mind. The Bulls are finally doing something worth talking about, so we got to bring it to the show here. All that and more in today's episode of the Woody City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Boys, what's going on? Everybody good?
No, man.
Everybody
You just
good?
ruined my whole childhood.
Did I? Did I miss your day?
that's
Talking
messed
about
up. That's
the
messed up.
and then part? Nah, I'm being
Yeah,
going home the whole time.
T-Pain
Nah.
did the same thing.
Nah.
He said it's not ooh wee, it's and then.
I would have went to my grave with that one. Change the whole song now. No, I don't even want to hear the song.
Hey, and
anymore.
he was appalled by it. He was like, why would I walk in the studio and go ooh wee?
No, come on, T-Pain. Because it's T-Pain. You auto-tuned the whole time.
That's true. That's true. You
What
do.
grown man auto-tunes?
Like, yeah, how are you? Yeah.
Future.
Yeah.
Future.
Young Thug.
Future.
The entire rap
Hey,
game
Young
right
Thug
now.
ain't got no choice, though.
The entire rap game right now.
Young Thug is crazy.
Lil Durk.
Lil Durk.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah,
You thought he was singing that? Oh my God, we're having a Virgil. You thought he just naturally had that vibrato?
Hey, his new album for the drop is gonna be nothing but auto-tune.
Bro, you thought he just had that all my life? Nah, bro.
Oh my
come on now.
life.
Let's talk a little bit of football, boys, because a lot has happened this offseason, and the Chicago Bears have had one of the more productive off seasons out of anybody in the NFL as far as the total off season, right? I don't know if you could say they went for agency or not, but got some solid pieces in there. Addressed your offensive line in a really good way. But also, starting off, adding Ben Johnson, adding Dennis Allen. We've been, for lack of a better word, meaty over this coaching staff for a long time here. Yep. And we're very excited to see what this coaching staff is going to be able to finally bring to the table. The question that I have for you, with the draft on the way still, is the pressure still on Ryan Poles for the Bears to win right now? Because the one thing that we've talked about this offseason as we were heading into it, that still has not happened, or at least has not been made public that it has happened yet, it may have happened already, is a contract extension for Ryan Poles. Remember, he is on the last year of his deal, and we have not heard that a contract extension is yet there. I would assume you're probably going to get one done. I doubt Ben Johnson was like, yeah, let's bring everybody into the world here, and the GM that's coming in may not want me here. But right now, is the pressure still on Ryan Poles to win right away this coming season?
Yep.
Yeah.
The thing is, this is year 4.
This is year 4 for Ryan Poles.
You can't get your quarterback killed.
Which you did.
You spent all the money on the coach, and then the what to me it's set up for success. I mean, it's pretty glaring that all the things that they did, we should have a measure of success. I'm not saying Super Bowl contender,
and that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yes,
but we should be able to really contend in this division, if not what we thought last year. But I think that the difference of scouting, something was a glaring issue in terms of how you scouted guys, because we were sold on a plate that, Ryan Bates, he drafted Karan.
Yeah, with the offensive line. Yeah.
We the guy from
that just means he's a good salesman.
Who was a little guy from
we know that was trash.
the Rams, the center that we didn't like.
Coleman Shelton.
Coleman Shelton. We were kind of sold that this would be better, and then they thought that Caleb was going to be dun. So now that we have,
he kind of was.
Yeah, but I mean, they literally thought he was going to come in and just kind of take over. But that's also what we were getting told. That was the hype that was set up. We're skeptical now, but on paper it looks really good. Coaching staff, the players that they add on the O-line. Yeah. So yeah, the pressure is on him because he can't have another season like what happened last year.
I think my question is, how do you define winning? Winning to what degree?
I think you have to be above 500.
Okay, so that's what, 9-8?
9-8.
So you have to go 9-8.
I wouldn't even want 9-8. I think you gotta get 10 wins.
I don't think you guys have.
I don't think you have to go 10 wins.
Full win improvement is good.
Nah, not
well.
You said that last year.
No, but here's the thing: going from 3 to 9 is a crazy jump. That's a crazy jump in the NFL.
They literally, shot themselves in the foot so many times. Wow! Whoa! Dagnam varmint! Whoa! Yeah! Oh, shot myself.
You're bleeding.
No, they cheddar bobbed themselves.
I do have a best friend named Cheddar Bob who shoots himself in his leg with his own gun.
Yeah, they shot themselves a number of times. Like, bungled how they handled the quarterback. Like, that was a crime what they did to Caleb. And on top of that, just how they handled the team. So, if you have capable coach, what Thomas Brown showed us in just 2 or 3 games of offense, we looked capable, but the defense fell apart. So
you still weren't scoring points. You still only gave up 25, 24, and I think 21.
No, the defense
in those
fell
3
apart.
games.
Right.
That's not really falling apart.
No,
25 points falling apart.
No, the defense was not looking as good as it did once Eberflus was gone.
That's true.
But the offense actually looked better.
The offense looked better.
But it was like we can't get both of these things to click.
The reason I'm asking this is because I hear a lot of people saying playoff or bust, and I think that's
I don't know if I'm there.
I'm not there. That's a lofty thing. I know this is like year 3, 4 for
Ryan Poles.
For Ryan Poles, year 4.
Yeah.
But this is year 1 for this new system. Yeah. And so there's a lot of things that's changing over and stuff like that. We're at the point now where it's like if you expect them to roll in, Ben Johnson to roll in, and then automatically be a playoff team, I'm just not there.
Why not?
I'm just not there.
The Carolina Panthers.
The reason I'm not there is because the division is better.
The Panthers did it before. They went 3-13 and flipped to 13-3. It could be done.
I'm saying it can be done, but is
the
it likely?
NFL is the spot that you can do it.
It can be done
more than anywhere else. Yeah.
Is it likely?
Well, why wouldn't they?
I would say it's more likely than it ever has been because you finally got smart enough to go, hey, what happens if you put big people in front of the quarterback?
That's a fact.
I think it's much more likely for you to get there this season than we've ever seen before. And even going to the last season, listen, you look at last year's videos, and yes, we were hyped. We were hyped about the additions, but I think we were all hyped because we were like, at some point, he's going to address this offensive line. And then I'm in training camp, and I'm like, hey, boys, they're not good. We might have some issues. Like, I think he's going to sign a center. He's got to. There's no way you can go to war with Coleman Shelton. And I literally looked up because everybody was like, what's the I got the answer out of Ben Johnson about, going out there and having, how do you make it easy? And I basically asked Flus the same question in training camp. I was like, how do you get development out of Caleb if you don't have offensive linemen that can stand in there.
Well-
And he gave me like the rain in Spain, sometimes it falls mainly on the plane. And at the end of the day, we get on the plane, and that's how we take off. And once we take off, that's when we're running, and we got to hit the ground running. And just attacking Ant right there.
I didn't want to.
But
That thing was
ADHD is
scrolling.
at all time.
JC, what do you feel? Do you feel like it has to hit the ground running? Do you feel like Bear Force One has to take off, and we'll finally get to
where's
use
that? Do I have that?
that? Don't put that logo on the screen. Don't you put that logo on the screen? We don't need that. Leave it right where it's at
Was that
till it
logo-
actually takes off. Don't you do it? Don't you do
You
it?
know when you tell
Don't
somebody
you
not
do
to
it.
do something, they're gonna do it. You know it.
There it is. You take that.
Hey, Caleb's got the wrong quarterback number too. Like,
it's old. It was an old one.
Keenan ain't gonna be here no more.
I don't even know if he's gone. That's the wrong info.
I got updated.
They might not be here.
What you got, JC?
I answered that with this question. What are the excuses? What are the excuses we're giving them this year? We gave them excuses this past year because horrible coaching staff. We already checked that box. Horrible trenches because they worked backwards. Ryan Poles didn't do the right thing by addressing the trenches first before he got all the shiny toys on offense. We checked that box. The only box that we didn't check, which is kind of just natural, is experience. Everybody hasn't gelled together. Nobody has played with each other yet. This coaching staff is kind of working from the ground up with the playbook and what they want to scheme, and Ben Johnson's being the new coach. However, with the way he's the mad scientist that he looks like he's going to be, I feel like he's going to have these guys more than prepared for the season.
It's gonna be fun.
They're going
It's
to
going
run.
to, yeah, exactly. That Joker smile. We're going to be prepared.
Yeah.
I think the season is going to be harder because last year we had the weak schedule in the beginning. That was to our advantage, and we didn't take advantage. This year, obviously, we're going to have more challenging competition. But the division, I feel like, hasn't gotten as stronger. Green Bay is not stronger. Minnesota might be nice or will be nice. I will say
here goes
that.
No,
Jimmy
they took a
Hoffman.
step back.
No,
With
Minnesota.
I don't
JJ
think
McCarthy.
Not really.
No, but
They
they added
take
some
a
really
half
nice
step back.
pieces.
Not
though.
really.
They added some nice pieces.
They added on the defensive line.
Yes, their
They did.
defense
added on
is
the
nasty.
defensive
line.
And of course, Detroit being
And
healthy.
the offensive line.
Detroit
I
being
think
healthy.
Detroit.
And I think that
you
kid
can't
can play.
lose both your coordinators and be
Well,
like,
Aiden Hutchinson. I'm just talking about the defense
players?
being better. Yeah. The players coming back on defense was their downfall in the playoffs. My thing is,
Boy, that defense
what
is
excuses do you
nuts.
give them? Do you give them the excuse of, okay, if they go 500 or over 500, 9-8, is that good enough? I've always said I agree with you. They should go double digits and wins. That's what I expect
you
from them.
put
I
too
think
much
that's
money
the
to
bar.
be
Can we see who
average.
the opponents are and when they land first before we say that? That kind of
mean,
matters.
Well, we
know-
can see who the
yeah,
opponents
yeah,
are,
yeah.
but
we have the opponents, just don't have the schedule.
It's
That's what I'm saying. Like,
stronger
but,
schedule.
but
played
it's
the
a stronger
Saints.
schedule.
We played. No, actually, pull it up.
Well, we know we play 6 teams for sure.
Well, you know, we play 16.
My thing, but see,
We do play the
said this.
division.
We were saying this last year. That we knew that Poles was going to address the offensive line this year. Last year was like,
Yeah.
I know he's going to go in the draft.
Was
and do
Yeah, no,
something.
G.
We did not.
No. Hey, listen.
no, he looking at
Hey,
schedule.
no,
Yeah, we got a
hey,
tough
Hey,
schedule.
listen, we about to get cooked in some of these games. I'm not trying to
We
hear
got a
that.
tough
Hey, man,
Hey,
come
listen.
on, man. Have faith, brother.
Philly
Yeah, I
and
got faith
Baltimore.
that the Bengals is about to
Philly-
put up 50 points. That's what I got. That's what I got.
The Bengals.
I'm only worried
The
about
Bengals
Philly.
has spent their whole future on this offense. Yeah, they're gonna like listen.
No,
listen,
they're just hamstrung. They're
fam,
not going to do
no,
nothing.
they have no choice. This is in the air.
No, the Eagles and Baltimore are the only two teams I'm worried about on that.
Well, I am a little worried about Washington.
I'm
Not gonna
worried
lie.
about Washington
Not gonna lie.
and the Bengals.
Yes.
That's going to be a great game.
Washington?
That is going to be a revenge game. Caleb and them.
Sure
them-
enough, but they
the Bears
definitely
are going to be,
improved.
dude. The
Hey,
Bears
it's
are
only
going
a
to be amped for that.
Hey,
game.
you want to know what I noticed? It's only a revenge game if you win.
Yeah, I was
Right?
about to say.
They
if
got to
it's
win. They're going to
lopsided,
want to. They're going to be up for that game.
I don't know. I will see.
Dude, that game altered the whole season for them.
It did, but they also got better.
That
You don't,
yeah,
think Caleb,
they
you don't think Caleb was hearing all that mess? They were doing all right. It's
Sure
4
Hey,
and 2.
Caleb with
Absolutely.
protection, I got over Jaden Daniels.
we'll see.
I agree. We will see.
We'll see.
Oh, I think we had a super chat
We
here
talk
somewhere.
about them like they just gonna
Ringo
roll
got
over
sick.
and die. Ringo, what you got?
That's. I mean, congratulations, Ryan Poles. You did your job. Everything. I
Sounds
mean,
a little angry.
literally everything up until this point, he's done what he's supposed to do. But that don't mean like I'm necessarily about to wipe the slate clean just because. Oh, okay. Well, we got a whole new set of coaches. We finally got the Monstars. You address the offensive line, and now everything's supposed to be forgiven. Nah, if they don't win, he's out of here. Like just because he brought in a new team, that don't mean he get a new crop of excuses.
No, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's done a good job. He had a mulligan.
When does winning have to happen?
But
This year.
That's the thing. Like you can't be in year 4 and win 7 games and be like, yeah, it's all gonna be perfect.
I think they're going to actually. You can't put all this money, get all these coaches, and have most of the talent built to sit there and say 9 wins. Heck no.
Hey, Ringo, you got to move your mic close a little bit.
So,
But you can't sit there and do that. Like, no, this team. Look, whatever went behind the scenes of why Eberflus was still brought back here. Whoever's lying, saying I wanted to keep him, whatever. Everybody knew that nobody wanted that dude last year. He shouldn't have been here. But they were able to erase that mistake by paying for one of the top guys. Dennis Allen to me validates getting Ben Johnson, because if he was just Ben Johnson as the rookie head coach, I wasn't going to be that excited. But the fact that you got all of these other coaches, you got our running backs coach was supposed to be in line as a head coach. Like, we got guys, like you said, the Monstars. And what's funny is, to me, this year is very important on the offensive line. I think Poles probably does. He's definitely going to get a new tackle, because you can't sit here and have 3 old. You got to get a left tackle. Braxton Jones is not it to me. And I don't care what everybody lying saying he's doing all. No, he don't pass the eye test. No. That dude been getting bull rushed, knocked to the quarterback, sacked with the quarterback. Yeah. He can't. He's great at running back, run blocking. Yeah. But my thing is that you have to draft a new tackle this year, and you have to draft 3 guys or 2 guys in the later rounds of this year and next year to offset Tooney and Jackson, because we don't know if Jackson's really going to hold up. He was off of an injury.
I think I'm with Pat though. Like at some point, I want to win. I don't care how many new guys you bring in. If we're not winning, it's null and void, basically.
The Packers did it.
I don't know. Like, there's so many things that we don't know. Was he hamstrung at one point? What was that? Was there really a power struggle? Okay, fine. They finally got their act together, said we're going to open up the checkbook. Now what do you do with it? Like, it's so many things that we don't know, and so many narratives that existed, that we're finally in a space where it's like, okay, I done opened up the checkbook. I done told you to get all these people. I think winning has to happen from this point forward, for sure. Agreed. I get with that. But, like, does it have to be playoffs or bust? No. 50%, you said above 500, 9-8. Cool. We got a stronger schedule now. Yes. I don't expect us to beat the Eagles, but do you compete against the Eagles, or do you get moonwalk like you've been doing? That matters. Like, does Caleb look like he's developing? Does it look like our team is gelling? Like the Lions, when they got their whole monster of coordinators and stuff like that, they went 9-8 that first year. I mean, when they got everybody there, they went 9-8.
I mean,
no, they had Jared Goff. When they got a line for
Giants.
No, I mean Lions.
When
the Lions got the line and everything for them, and they had everyone there, they went 9-8 that year, and then they built upon that. I'm expecting that type of turnaround, but I'm not expecting them to be to win the division. Like, I'm not expecting that.
I didn't
if they don't, okay, so if they don't even at least are in that conversation for the playoffs, you think he got to get it? You think he should keep his job with the people that?
Well, I think if you're 9-8, you'll be in the conversation for the playoffs this year. The whole NFC North got to play the schedule that's on it. Listen, everybody in the NFC North got to play Philly. They all got to play Baltimore. They all got to play.
That's trash, bro. I'm sorry.
It's a lot of turnover. There's not going to be a 15-win team in the NFC North this year.
The question is, who are the top? Was it 7? Who are the top 7 in NFC? Somebody has to drop off next year for the Bears to get in.
I think there's going to be a couple of teams.
San Fran is clearly going to be falling off.
San Fran drops off.
I think there's going to be a couple of teams that end up dropping off. But I think Seattle.
Did Seattle get to the playoffs?
No.
No, they barely.
They didn't.
I think here's the thing. There's going to be a couple of things that end up playing into the Bears having a spot there. But the goal is, to me, to take the pressure off of Ryan Poles. It has to look like it's working. I'm not saying you got to win 12 games, because it's the Bears. I'm probably never going to be talking about the Bears winning 12 games until we start to see a winning culture built up here. But if I'm sitting here having a conversation around does week in and week out the team look like the right team, the conversation that we having about the Bulls right now, no matter the pieces, they look like the same team.
No,
No matter the guys you're swapping in, you're swapping out. You ain't watched the game. Calm down, Joe. No matter the guys you're swapping in and you're swapping out, they still look like the same team. It looks like the right system. It looks like you've got the answer. It looks like your coach knows what he's doing. It looks like you've got pieces in place that are actually getting put in position to be their most successful. If you start to see those things to me on a consistent basis, like that's the part where it's like, oh, this is who they are. The Bears have to leave this season with an identity.
Yes.
Whether it is you're a run-heavy team, whether it is you are a pass-first team, whether it is you're letting Caleb stand back there and be Joe Burrow. Don't do that. But whether it is...
Or protect him if you do.
Joe Burrow protected.
Yeah, he might have more time to Joe.
I trust Caleb when he got time to throw.
Which is fine, right? But like you have to leave this season knowing this is who you are.
Yeah.
This is your identity. This is how you play the game.
They're going to establish a running game.
I was going to say, until that point, it's like Ben Johnson said at the introductory press conference, look, there's going to be consistency and accountability. These dudes are going to have to come in and they're going to work. It's not going to be easy. I think at the end of the day, because like we've been talking about this as the black and blue division, all the other teams basically got an identity.
Yeah.
So it's like now you really got to see like
they do.
Who are the Chicago Bears?
No, they don't.
Gonna be at the end of the day. Who don't?
Who don't got an identity?
Minnesota
identity is
got
Justin
identity?
Jefferson. Drop back and get that thing to Justin Jefferson as much as possible.
Cool. Can JJ do it? I think he can. I think he'll have a good
And
opportunity.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. It makes life a lot easier when it's JJ.
It makes a lot of
Hey, I ain't gotta hit him perfect. I just gotta be in the vicinity. Minnesota's identity is passing the football and Kevin O'Connell being a phenomenal football mind and being able to find ways to develop guys. The Packers' identity is Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur.
So why does
Lions' identity is running the football, hard-nosed football. You know what I mean? Like, I think you have to leave that. Like, for the pressure to not be on Ryan Poles, for me to not leave this season and go, I don't know if we got that. I think you have to leave this season knowing you have the identity, knowing you have the answer, knowing, hey, okay, now we know what this team is. Because once you get an identity, then you can add to it. Okay, this is how we are. This is who we are. Now we know we want to run the football first, want to run the outside zone. Okay, we got to get the bodies in here to do that. We need a couple of dudes more that can block on that outside. Equinemius St. Brown, what you got going on this weekend? Like, I think those are the things where it's too hard to build a team. When's the last time we had an identity?
Since the
we've always had an identity.
Forte
Pat.
was
Forte?
We've been a defense dominant team my entire life.
Yeah, but I think that I'm talking about just
We gotta
like
make Chicago great again.
like
dog.
that's a city identity. You know what I mean? That's not.
Chicago don't play defense. We shoot.
the whole thing is
That ball in it.
We are very offensive.
That ball in the air, bro.
we have had an unbalanced team for a long time because unless you had an extraordinarily amazing defense that can compensate for shoddy offensive play, it's like, but the problem is you almost had everything perfect. Even when that team that went to the Super Bowl with Hester, we had a special teams Hall of Famer dude that was an X factor. We had a running game. We had, Hester would come through, and then we had a really good defense. And we still lost players on that defense.
Joe, you know how bad of an offense you got to have for your special teams to be the highlight?
Bro,
that's just how special Devin was.
I'm just saying.
The Bears' identity was
defense
and
running
special
teams.
and running
Thomas
the football.
Jones.
and they stopped running.
Turn around to Thomas Jones.
They
Thomas Jones had 89 yards at the half.
They had
And then they didn't get a football.
They had a
field.
7-point head start in the Super Bowl, and it was raining, and you stopped running the ball.
Those Lovey teams had an identity.
had
It just
two-
wasn't a quarterback.
Right. And now
Yeah.
the difference is, like, to me, this is what we're going to see this year, in my opinion. The first 4 games might be slightly rocky because they got to gel and figure everything out. So that's what I would warn against. Yeah, that's what I would expect when we watch the Bears going into this season. Now, if they end up like, okay, no one has tape on the new Caleb in this new system. So he might get out there and start, cooking cats, and then they start to put the clamps on them. But we should have a running game to offset that. I saw a comment. Who was that? Somebody, I think it was Crimson talking about. I think JJ's the Vikings go down with JJ.
I mean, it's a rookie quarterback.
Because my point is that
Y'all know
the
how I
same
feel
thing.
about JJ.
He's not necessarily ready to go. Nobody expected Sam Darnold because they all thought he sucked.
I said Sam Darnold
He
probably.
did.
No, Sam Darnold
He
was
called
good.
it.
Nah,
I said Sam Darnold gonna be good because here's the thing. No matter the job, you want to know that you know what? It's so funny. The 30 Jesus, well, 20 years later, it's kind of the same story. But Randall Cunningham was amazing with
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss left the team and Randall Cunningham.
Well, he got old.
Fell off the cliff.
Say what you want.
No, Randy got old.
You talking about Dante Culpepper?
Cunningham got old. Randy was still there, and then
Dante
got traded to
No,
the
no,
Raiders.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say Randall
Dante
Cunningham.
Culpepper.
Dante Culpepper was who
Yeah.
I meant. Dante Culpepper was phenomenal with Randy Moss.
Chris Carter.
Hey, Randy Moss left, and Dante Culpepper fell off a cliff.
Chris Carter.
Chris Carter was cold.
When he
With
left,
Randall,
Randy
yeah.
was still there.
Yeah.
He left and went to he signed with Miami and then tore his
Take
knee
a
up.
shot.
You brought him up.
I take a shot. Why I got that? Take a shot for me. It was everybody take a shot for me. I went, oh.
Encyclopedia Joe.
Yeah, hey, I got one. I got a literal encyclopedia.
You know what? I actually, one of the excuses I was about to use, but I guess I shouldn't because based off of what I just looked up, is usually from year to year, we see teams go from first to worst, or rather worst to first.
Yeah. We also see
Do
first
you all
to worst.
know how many teams on average every year actually do that?
I would say probably worst to first or just
Yeah.
a terrible team.
Over the last
to winning.
23 years,
A
how many
terrible
teams?
team to winning or worst to first?
Worst to first, like
One or
in their
two?
division.
I would say probably 2 a year.
Yeah. It's 1.32. That's the average. Now, I mean, I feel
It's
like
the
there's a
only
lot of
sport that-
stipulations
back
with
up.
that.
No, but the thing is, that's the
bad
only sport that
percentage.
happens.
With NFL?
Like the Bulls were trash
Yeah,
last
nah,
year.
man,
They not
Guess
gonna
what?
be
We
able
came
to
into the season knowing what's going to happen this
They're
year.
still going to be
Basketball's
We're
trash.
still gonna be trash.
Yeah, we have a lot of
Basketball's
work to do.
different.
White Sox won 40-something games last year. Hey, guess what's going to happen this year?
40.
They might win
You
50.
got
that's
four
different.
teams in the
Football is
division. It's
48.
They might
easier
win
to
50. Yeah,
improve.
48. You know what I mean?
48.
Like it's the only sport where you really can do that. Baseball, you can kind of do that if you
Yeah.
just say, "F it, I'm gonna spend money this year."
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like a certain team right now.
But I mean, shout out to the. By the way, I am of course always going to be a diehard White Sox fan. But while they continue to just not care about me, I'm gonna care a lot less about them. I'm a Dodgers fan, and yes, I did pick the best team in the division.
That's
Yes, I
easy.
did pick the best.
That's
team. You want to know
you
why?
would pick the
You
team
wanna
that
know
just
why?
beat the Cubs.
I deserve it.
Hey,
I deserve it.
Bum just
that
beat
team
the
better be
Cubs.
fun to
I
watch, bro.
deserve. First off, y'all ain't making the playoffs either. Shut up. I deserve it.
Dang right we're making the playoffs. all right?
I deserve
Might not
to
go
be able to
anywhere.
root for one team
To actually win.
that is talented.
man
I
picks
am a
the-
Hawks fan.
Man picks the best team
I
in
am
the
a
world.
Bulls fan.
This is dark horse.
Hey, I
This
don't
is
want
dark horse.
Hey, I don't want it to be
Yeah,
difficult.
right, that is a dark horse.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Shohei Ohtani.
I don't want it to be difficult.
Yamazaka, whoever his name is.
I deserve one that's
he
not
got
difficult.
The greatest team in sports right now.
I am a Bulls fan, a Sox fan, and a Hawks
God.
fan. I deserve one to be fun. I deserve one that's not difficult.
Bulls are kind of fun right now.
Bulls are a little bit fun
Bulls are
right
a
now.
little fun. I'm just letting you know.
Lovable losers.
Well, they're not losing as much. I'm just letting you know.
Lovable losers.
They
Blew out the
are
Lakers by
pissing
20
off
something
they are pissing off the Tank fans.
Everybody was like,
and
we're not getting
right.
Cooper
get rid of
Flag. Just
Josh
letting you know.
Giddey.
We're not
That
getting
man
Cooper Flag.
almost gets a quadruple double.
Yeah, Josh Giddey got better though. No, you got to have context to that. Josh Giddey was
steals.
unplayable in fourth quarters for half a season.
Yeah. He's improved
Like
his shooting.
it
and his
literally
stealing.
was just like, so you just don't play
potential was
defense,
there.
or
Right.
what's going on with that?
That's what it
You
is.
didn't
the
realize
potential.
that? I just do this, and I shoot weird.
But no, man, I think it's going to be interesting to see kind of what the what the Bears end up doing.
Hey man, we didn't get Drew's take at all.
We about to get to. That's where I'm about to go. That's because Joe keeps jumping in. Try to go 1, 2, 3. We go 1, 2 back to 1.
So I was saying, I think that the
You know Joe got to get 5 takes.
Hey, you know this is the
We're having an
Charles.
active
This is the
conversation.
Charles Barkley right here.
We'll call it Jumping Joel.
Jumping Joel.
like that. Jumping Joe. I'm gonna make something right
Jumping
now.
Joel Hosafat.
Whoa, that's terrible.
I don't know about that. Hold on. Wait a minute. It just felt wrong. I don't
Joel
know.
Hosafat?
Hey, I don't know. It just felt wrong. I just have to throw the flag. You know, I don't know. You can challenge it, but I mean,
Joe was whoa on that one.
Drew, what's your thoughts? Do you feel like the pressure will be off Poles if he goes out there and wins this year?
No, I'm kind of with Kid on this.
So like I was saying,
Shut up!
Wait,
No,
no. You take over. You take over, Drew. Let's go.
Just pass me over. It's okay.
No. Go ahead.
See, this is how Monopoly went down.
Pass me over.
What's your thought?
Basically, I'm thinking that we just need a 9-8 season to solidify Poles' direction because we are now doing. He finally has realized we need to hit the trenches. The trenches are going to be solid, and therefore, 9-8 gets into the playoffs. I think we sneak in, and so therefore his job is safe and the extension is coming.
Yeah,
I got one situation which we need to let Poles walk. If he's not the one that pulled the trigger on these tackles and centers.
He still gets the credit.
No, wait.
He's still going to get part of the credit.
Hey, Pat, hold up. If Ben Johnson have to come in there and be like, hey, Ryan.
But we'll never know that because they're going to be working together. Nah. That ain't gonna happen.
Like, I mean, if he have to do that, get that man up out of here, bro. I'm sorry.
But I think here's the thing, right? Like that a lot of times it is a coach saying, hey, I would love this player. Get me this player. I would love to have this guy on my team. The part where Ryan comes in is where the Bears have been good at contract negotiation, how he's structuring contracts, how he's getting contracts done. I would assume, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, as much as I'm like Joe Tooney should be getting the bag, I'm fully prepared to be talking about a Joe Tooney contract where it's like
worst contract?
No, where it's great. Where it's literally like we looking at it, we just like, how the heck did we get Joe Tooney to agree to that? Like Ryan Poles has been really
just
good
like Drew Dorman
at creating cap space. It was my beef with him last year. You created all of this cap space last year, and I'm like, oh God, here we go. Okay, we finna get a deal done. It's about to be exciting. And then we just never signed an offensive lineman. But the DJ Moore, how he structured DJ Moore's contract so that everything in 2027 is pretty much off of the books, is perfect because I got to pay Caleb Williams by the time that comes down. How Montez Sweat's contract is structured, how he structured Dio Dangbo, how he structured Grady Jarrett's deal. Like all of those guys, I was sad when his name was Dio. But all of those guys,
just go with Dio.
To me, like when you look at how the contracts line up, even on the offensive line, the deals you got done, Ryan Poles has done an excellent job at facilitating the money. That's a skill set you do need to have. So listen, if it is Ben Johnson walking in the room and saying, "Get me this guy. This is the guy I need to go win." That's not uncommon. That's not uncommon to the NFL. Listen, that's when you're that bad. That's how you win.
That's how you communicate.
I think that's primarily how it went down. Like if you like realistically, he came from the Lions. Like they had a star-studded offensive line already. There's no way he's going to the Bears, and it's like, okay, well, y'all got Caleb Williams. What else y'all got? Is it? Mm-hmm. And then
he helped build it too.
Yeah, so I mean, so it's like there's no way realistically he would have came to Chicago if they didn't have a offensive line. The thing that I like is most of the pieces that they got said like, "Hey, I'm coming here because Ben Johnson is here."
This is the thing, fellas. So, who he couldn't
he
always
said that
sign.
With authority too.
It's the hand too. It just
I felt like you ain't nothing but a piece of cheese without the corn.
You'll never be a
slice. I felt like that was coming.
He traded for 2 guards.
Yeah,
there was no.
I'm sorry.
But last year we did the issue that we all had that was an issue for the black mark on Poles was the fact of the Shane Waldron stuff. And the fact that the line did not hold up like it did. We did say that he was going to address the line probably in the draft. The thing is, he didn't. He only signed Dahlman of real value. He had to trade for the other guys who was available to get.
Can I interest you in one quick caveat?
caveat.
Yes. Could we actually Could we believe that Poles was lied to by Shane? That he said, "I can do all these wonderful things." And he couldn't.
I mean, if I had the job, I'd
if that's possible,
that's how you get the job.
I can do all these wonderful things.
Hey, you got to lie a little bit on the resume, dog.
Poles believed him and his resume was just that bad in real life.
That's a good point.
Is that a Poles problem?
Tell me you never lied on a resume.
Is that just a?
It's a Poles problem.
Waldron was just a super liar because there's some super liars out there.
To me, super liars is crazy. To me, it's a.
Are you a liar? No, I'm a
super liar. I'll make you believe anything I say.
Hey, call me Catman, man. bro.
There we go.
Because I'm the cat.
CAP.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
Oh, there we go. The first ever. Got
Let him cook.
Let
He cooked with that one. He cooked with that one.
hilarious.
So that came from who?
All right, but shout out to Jay Crib. man.
Jay
Crib
Crib.
was
Crib,
like,
baby.
shout out to
Jay
Jay
Crib was like, yo,
Crib.
I saw this. I think it'd be a cool prop for the show.
Yeah.
And so, man, I would love for y'all to just have it. So shout out to Jay Crib.
Yes, sir.
This is cold. I
We
like
need the
it.
explosion now. Now you need the explosion. You ain't got that on.
Great
Drop
supporter of the
fire.
show,
Y'all
man. Shout
gotta-
out Jay Crit.
He's cooking.
No, but
I like it.
I think that all of that does play into it. By the way, 191 in the building, 47 likes. Hit that like button.
No, we
Subscribe
got
to the page,
47.
man.
Over
Oh, we
200
do have
chat.
over 200 in the chat. 200.
Pumped in a minute. All right.
Hey, we got to get some bad music like Kevin Samuels used to do.
That's your thing, dog.
I know. You got to get the likes up. Turn the likes up. Then play some bad
I
music.
just tell him hit the like button.
Let's just pump the brakes on that. We're
Right, right,
doing
maybe
okay.
I'll take the
Take the
chain
chain
off.
off.
All right.
You know what you like?
Now he's uncooked.
I didn't cook that time.
Now he's raw.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He burned it.
I burned it.
The steak is well done.
Yeah, I was about to say that thing is cooked.
But yeah, man, I think.
Speaking of steaks.
Shut up.
Speaking of steaks.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
How's the let's get an eating meter update here, my boy. Hey, it can still be updated with the same numbers you had up because he ain't got no more.
I don't think it changed.
He ain't got no more. As
he's only got what 12 games left or something?
He got 12 games left?
Come on, Zach. Come on, man.
as the eating meter is up, and as you
eating
know,
meter?
Hey, his last game,
if you don't
Friday,
know-
he played 17 minutes. He
Uh-huh.
had 8 points.
Ooh.
That means it's below his
8
average.
points.
He had 8 good points.
Yeah.
Right now, he's averaging the clean 9.2.
The meaty
Yeah.
eating meter.
Oh, we
Listen.
got wait. We got 2 super chats.
no, those
It's
are
some good
members.
ones, too.
Those
Oh,
are the
okay.
members.
Sorry.
You were better off saying that he was going to average 9 and 8
what is
versus
it,
10.
He's got to average 10 points a
Just need to
game.
average 10 points
You got to
a
average
game.
10 points a game.
I'm sorry, I believed in the guy.
Yeah, it's done. It's done.
Listen,
it's done.
I just want you to know
Jeez.
that arrow should be a little closer to the 9.
yeah, a little bit.
No,
look
I never updated. That's the old one. It
Oh,
ain't much better.
It said
You
9.3
hold
points.
down hope.
Yeah, right.
He's
What-
averaging 9.2.
it didn't
He's
change,
averaging
but
9.2.
It's still bad.
Did you pick your state restaurant?
I will be I'm trying to
RPM?
figure out if I'm doing a bavette
Events.
or
Linsky's?
we know David Flum is Chicago cut
Hey,
through
now, all right.
ESPN.
No, don't go easy on him because that feels like a connection. You don't want to go cheap.
Oh, we
He
won't.
might give you like a discount if you
Hey,
go
listen,
there or
I
something.
went there for my anniversary. It's not cheap.
You
Oh,
know
never
what?
mind.
I'm
All right,
taking it
never mind.
That was an $800 night.
You're going to Outback Steakhouse.
What a hole. Outback?
Oh no, Joe, you gotta take him to Ronnie's.
Hey,
Ronnie's used to be
fine. I ain't gonna
banging,
lie.
bro.
I love Ronnie's.
Hey, Ronnie's was king
Ronnie's
of
on
the,
Lake Street,
of the
baby.
$4.99 steaks.
Hey,
Yes, I ain't gonna lie. I
hey,
know
surf
that.
for $25?
Hey, that's him with them dollar store
You ain't
steaks.
lying. You ain't lying. I go
Dog,
to
I
Ronnie's
did not hit
anytime.
myself the horrible NBA players. I just believed in that.
I'm gonna I'm gonna cook him a dollar store steak one day and see if he know
Bro,
the
I will
difference.
try it. I'll try
See
it.
if he know the difference.
Hey, if you
We gotta
make it
do-
right, you probably could convince me.
Hey, you probably give me right. You gonna be sick that night,
Season.
though. But no, man. Hey, listen, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Show love. Hit the like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Let us know how you guys feel. Do you feel like the Bears need to win right away to take some of this pressure off of Ryan Poles? Before we get out of here, something that I do want to talk about. Under pressure.
You see, mine was different. It went din 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 din.
Ding to it. Ding ding ding.
There you go.
These variation of songs and lyrics.
That was Vanilla Ice.
That was Vanilla Ice. Yeah.
All right, stop.
Before we get to the before we get up out of here, I do want to talk about a team that has been pissing off tankers left and right. Let me tell you about the Chicago Bulls. My God, the Chicago Bulls are actually doing something
Yes, they are.
that can be quantified as competitive in the NBA. In fact, since the All-Star break, Chicago Bulls have been a top 10 defense. They've been a top 10 offense. They have continually. What you got? Oh, I thought you had like a breaking news or
Oh,
something.
yeah, I
like
do
that.
have breaking news.
What's the breaking
You know,
news?
Tradita has like this King River ribeye. Costs like $220.
Oh, do they now?
Yeah. It's a 16-ounce King River Ranch Australian A3 Wagyu steak. I just want you to know.
And this jerk has been sending me. And then, he's been trolling me for like a month now. He's sending me all these steak places
sweats.
and stuff. I was like, you freaking jerk.
Bro, I am a king troll.
What did you say?
Listen,
You actually, it was a nice place. I was like, this is a nice place to take my wife.
I want y'all to understand. I will troll you for years. I don't forget anything. I just want you to know. And because the Bulls have been that bad, when every time I wanted to talk Bulls, he used to interrupt me all the time, talk about something random. I just wanted to throw out some Wagyu steak. That's all.
Hey, that's great. And you want to know what? They finally good enough to do it. I also gave you a whole channel for you to do that on.
I can't tell you.
The channel that I didn't want. I didn't want to talk about these guys.
I don't want to talk about the Bulls out here. Now we're talking about them. No, listen, because they're doing something that actually is worth talking about. And I mean, what they've done since the All-Star break, of course, I've talked about it a ton on Locked On Bulls. I've talked about it on the Chicago Bulls Breeze, which is thriving right now, by the way. Go subscribe to the
He looks aged now.
Joe definitely found that first presidency term.
This is when he first got hired. He doesn't look stressed yet. None of these guys.
It's hard finding those pictures.
He in Denver right here. He's not even.
He's an assistant right
It's
now.
hard
Denver.
finding them pictures. I was like, God dang.
Listen, the Bulls are out here running right now, and as described by, funny enough, Mike Malone, just because the Bulls play the Denver Nuggets that I just talked about him, said they're the hottest team running in the NBA right now. The Bulls are dominating defensively. They're dominating on the offensive end. It's very weird, and it feels so un-Bulls. This is some of the best defense we've ever seen the Chicago Bulls play under Billy Donovan at any point in his head coaching tenure. And dare I say, we're on the verge of having to say that Acme
Could be right.
might actually be right.
About what?
He said no.
About what? We've been watching this team for 3 years.
What is he right about specifically?
3 years.
That's all I want to know. What
know.
is the
I wanna hear
specific
it.
he's right about?
Over the past few years, we have watched the same thing. We've watched him miss. We've watched him F up.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with that. You waited too long on the Zach LaVine trade. It shot you in the foot. You waited too long on Vooch. It's going to shoot you in the foot. I don't know why the heck you re-signed Lonzo Ball. He's got an affinity for dudes that play 35 games.
Where's the change?
Yeah, you know what? He's still playing 35 games. Hey, you know how many games he played this season? 35. After 2.5 years, 35 years. But Modest Buzelis looks
to
like
the point.
Modest Buzelis looks like he's the right pick.
He's starting to cook.
Okay.
He not cooking.
Not cooking.
He not.
Josh Giddey is a trade you won.
Yes. Over
You
Caruso.
you
We
can
don't even
say
talk about
now
Caruso.
I was
that
happy
you have
about
won
that.
the Josh Giddey trade. I
Absolutely.
think we all were happy about
I was
that.
happy about it.
Because it was Alex Caruso literally going, I play for the Bulls right now
No, Joe was
on
like,
TNT.
oh my God, you gave with Caruso. Not you. I'm saying people were tripping like, no, I'll take a triple-double threat anytime.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
You're getting to a point where the wins are actually starting to pile up, and the fact that you finally got the people out the way, the pieces out the way that were in the way. Mm-hmm. You can now definitively say Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Vooch is kind of out of the way too because they barely playing him in second halves. You can definitively say we're done with those pieces, and now we're seeing the young guys cook. Now you're seeing Dalen Terry step up. Now you're seeing Julian Phillips step up.
Kevin Huerter is nice.
Now I'm not saying they didn't screw up. They screwed up. Yeah. I sat here and cooked them the whole time.
I can't say
But y'all know how I am. I'm going to give you wins when you're getting wins. And you're at the precipice where the not tanking, if they can find another piece like Modest Buzelis in this draft, will help you. If you're sitting at 16, 17, because you did something dumb and made the playoff,
Listen, I know a
Modest is showing me
guy.
something.
and you get a Danny Wolf out of Michigan, you know I love a Danny
You
Wolf.
like Danny Wolf?
I love Danny Wolf's
okay.
game.
Danny Wolf, man.
He's a dog.
All right.
Now you're going to have a very Caucasian team.
As long as they can play.
all
I don't
American.
care.
Hey, they're going to be America's team. Let me tell you that.
Okay. All right. I'll look out for them.
But you're starting to see them turn this ship away from everything that it once shipped. SHIP. Everything away from what
Away
it
from
once
the wreckage.
was, and it's actually working.
I don't know if
see.
it's working.
We'll
They just
see.
had they had
No,
to
it's
pivot.
working just a little bit.
I don't know if you're proven right if it took you 5 years
Which
6
is bad.
years.
Which is bad.
It was 2 years too late.
Well, let me say this. The point that I'm saying is the not tanking.
Okay.
They may be proven right on not going the tanking route because the tanking team has never won an NBA.
Over the development route, you
Over
mean?
the development
Oh, yeah.
route.
You got to develop because I feel like
Okay.
Modest would have
I
been
was-
in the
all
G
right,
League
I was
still
trying
if
to
you were
figure out where
tanking.
you was going with this.
Modest would not have been where he is now if you didn't readjust and Billy didn't give him more minutes and allowed him to fail while still giving him minutes to play. I don't feel like he would have had the confidence to improve to where he is now. And you put up a 31-point game and you just crossed Luka out of his shoes, even though Luka's not all defense.
That was nice.
That was nice.
By the way, Drew, did you see
God.
Midas dunk the ball in?
No, I missed it.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, wait, what is this? You think you thought he can't dunk or something?
No, I said he shouldn't have been in the dunk contest.
Yeah,
Well, that's true.
He shouldn't have
That's
been in the
true.
dunk
He
contest.
shouldn't have been in the
Ringo,
dunk
he
contest.
should not have been in the
That
dunk
was
contest.
bad.
There's a difference
Ringo, he's
between
not.
being an in-game dunker and a
no,
creative dunker.
Wait, that's not what he said.
Talking to you, Mike Ringo.
That's, that's not what he said.
I did. I said he should not have been in the dunk contest. He is not a dunker. He is an in-game dunker. He is not a dunker. He is not a Vince Carter. He is not a Zach LaVine dunker. He is
can't
not a
create on the
Jordan.
fly.
He's not a Dominique. He's an in-game aggressive dunker.
Sean Marion.
Yeah, I said no. I said
Yes, that's a
I
good
said
point.
he
Yeah.
I said he's
Good
an in-game
comparison.
dunker, but at the time
There's
he
no
was
but.
like,
There's no but.
bro,
There's
him
no
and
but.
Stephon Castle don't got no posters. And I asked you, did you watch the Spurs? And you was like, yeah, I was watching for Chris Paul. Stephon Castle's a starter.
What is that got to do with
what's
anything
the
now? What we talking about? We talking about the
Like,
Bulls. That's a
they
separate
both had
conversation.
up.
Yeah, you definitely went a whole
It's a
different
separate
direction.
conversation for another day.
It was a long.
But my biggest point is they are on the verge of being proven right.
Face. It was long.
I have no problem.
It was
I
along the same lines. He know what I was talking
Yeah.
about.
You knew what I meant.
I have no problem with admitting when stuff goes right that you have to give him his credit. We've been trashing Eversley and Acme for the longest.
Deservedly so.
No,
Deservedly
just
so.
just
No.
for a year or two.
No.
not
What?
that
We've
good.
been here for like 5-6 years.
No.
It's been like
When did they
rebuild
win?
after rebuild or retool after retool.
they held-
It was when he gave Zach
2020.
LaVine that second contract, and it was
We've
like,
been
no,
here
this
for like
not
5
working.
years, bro.
Right. So after we were excited, there was potential after the first year or two. Then it was like, all right, 3.
That was after the first year. That's
The only
second year.
potential they had was when Lonzo was
4.
first healthy and they had the
Correct.
The what is the
We had
guy
like
that used to
13
jump out the
games,
gym
right?
that we had?
Jalen-
Javante Green.
Javante
Right,
Green.
right.
They had that
Jalen
team.
But it was like, yo, okay, they drafted Patrick Williams. We'll give him a little pass. Maybe
Yeah,
he's
you
going to
know,
be
I
the
had
claw 2.0.
I didn't.
Yeah,
No,
well,
I'm saying that's what was being
I lost
sold.
on that one.
I wasn't high on that pick neither. I'm like, the dude was on the bench in Florida. Now I didn't like the pick.
Yeah.
The idea is that we gave them a pass for a while. The issue is the last 2 years, it was like we want to see something done. And all we got was you held on to Zach too long to the point that his value was diminished, that you gave him up for a bag of beans and something else, And so now you got Matas. To me, Matas was the shining thing. And then the surprise trade of getting Giddey, okay? So it's like not the verge of being proven right, but it's like you finally made a move, and maybe you can actually make some moves that can improve the team. So thank you, but there's no hope really to me coming outside of the development of these guys that we have, because we'd love to get the number 1 or number 2 pick. Like we've been just shy. What was it? Number 3 and number 4s, number 7.
Yeah.
We have not
We had
been
7 like 2 years in a row.
Yeah,
I think.
like it's hard to get
Just
that.
outside of the good players.
And you're not
Yep.
necessarily hitting because you can get
swear.
like a Klay Thompson. What happened?
No.
Like a Klay Thompson. He was 11. Like there's
Yeah.
guys that have hit, but we have not hit on a guy or that we let the guys go out the door. Like our boy that left and went to.
I will say
Utah.
this. I think.
Yeah, but he's not good either.
Who?
I guess you're
Luka.
right.
Larry Marketing is not good.
Larry, Larry fell off.
Larry
had that
Marketing is
one
exactly
good
what
year.
Larry is.
He had that
looked like
one
he
good
was
year in
alright.
Utah, and we
Yeah.
thought he was going to take off.
There
He
was
wasn't
hope.
an all-star. But my thing is, too, you also seen consistency with Kobe White, who, by the way, we got to acknowledge that he won Player of the Year.
Back-to-back Player of the Week.
Since MJ. Are we seeing him take a step forward where he's going to finally be consistent and know how to keep putting up points? With the point guard like Giddey. And we argued with this off the air. I think those are the 3 that you build around: Kobe, Modest, and Josh. Now I know you told me you feel like Io to you is a better fit.
Oh, they all gonna be here.
I feel like Io's coming off the bench when he
They're all
comes
gonna be
healthy.
here.
Ayo probably is coming
I
off the
like
bench,
Ayo
but
off the
I
bench.
think
I
I like Ayo as a point or filling that 2-guard
As a
role.
point, yes.
as much better. But
Kobe's a scoring guy.
I'll tell you
already
this.
know that.
Here's the thing: we had no choice but to go this route. It's not a matter of being proven right. They didn't have no choice. They had no other option.
No, this is
realistically.
the not tanking route is the route AK said he was always gonna go.
He had no choice. Like let's really put this together. You trade away Zach LaVine. DeMar's not here. You're stuck with Vooch because you can't move him. the other players still have to play. Billy Donovan still has to put.
No, they don't. Have you seen Utah?
No, Utah's trash. All right, listen.
Utah literally was like Colin Sexton, sit down. Larry Markkinen, sit down. They got fined $100,000 because they were like, you are tanking. Like, we can see it. And they're like, we know.
But let's be clear, though. The Bulls ain't sat there and did nothing astronomical in the last 20 games. They beat 2 people of note. Everyone else, they either should have competed with or beat. That's just it.
They shouldn't have competed with none of the people today. The Bulls of
who?
They murdered the Lakers. I did not expect
the last
that.
2 games are the games of
did
note.
not expect
Every
that.
game before then, that teams of note,
They
they
beat
lost.
Sacramento.
Sacramento and
They
LA.
beat Indiana.
We supposed to be
Indiana
Indiana.
was
We
hurt.
supposed to be Indiana.
Indiana was hurt though.
We supposed to be.
They didn't have Tyrese.
With
You're right.
that
I will
Indiana,
give you
supposed to
that.
beat Indiana.
They didn't have Tyrese.
They
Well,
beat-
no, we're not supposed to beat Tyrese.
Here's the thing. You're not supposed to be in these games because you're not supposed to have this level of talent.
The only team I would say
The Knicks, you shouldn't have been competitive
No.
with. The Suns, you shouldn't have been competitive with.
No,
the
you can be
Clippers, you
competitive with
shouldn't
the
have been
Suns.
competitive. The Suns still got Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Like, it's
And
still.
who else?
Hey, wait, I'm not,
They ain't got nobody else.
I'm not.
It's
gonna
just
lie.
2 guys.
I'm with Kid on that.
It's just 2 of them.
I'm with Kid on that. We got to stop saying the Suns is the Suns because they're not the Suns.
Yes, but the Bulls don't have talent.
Hey, you realize that we said it's 2 guys like Bradley
Hey, now
Beal ain't
all-
over there.
Hey, now all of a sudden, I said what I said. Now all of a sudden, there's
Bradley Beal
talent
hold them hostage,
No,
bro.
that is showing itself.
No,
Bradley
the
Beal
Bulls, The Bulls
trash.
have talent. The Bulls do have talent. They don't have the upper echelon talent to make the playoffs and be competitive talent, but they do have talent. They're not Utah. They're not what we're looking at with San Antonio right now. They are not like what's that? Like Toronto right now. They're not.
That's
bad.
not good at all.
Well, let me put it to you this
just
way.
said They got talent.
When
but
you
it's
don't
do,
have
do,
enough
do,
to get
do,
a
do,
superstar in
do.
the league that you need a superstar, and you're too good to get the number 1 overall, you have no choice but to develop the people you got. It's cheaper to
Yeah,
keep
but
them.
that don't
At
mean
this
it has
point.
to.
No,
I think that's the thing.
I agree.
We-
but hold on. What
we've
did me
been-
and you say about Billy Donovan? He's good with who?
Young people.
That's it.
Yeah, I said that, but then
He's
That's
a college
it.
coach.
I saw him with
He's
a
a
young
college
team not
coach.
do
2
good.
championships in college.
That's
But
what I
right
said.
now-
But then I saw him with a young team not do well.
But is he doing good right
But
now?
he did good at OKC with a young team.
Well, and here's the thing, and I think that's the thing, right? Like, that's the point I'm saying where you're finally getting the development. You forget the fact that Billy Donovan turned over his entire coaching staff coming into this season with new pieces. Like, you're finally starting to see this young development. Going the development route is actually working. Now to finish the season, I'm not sitting here telling you that they're a world beater. I'm not sitting here telling you they're gonna go and win a series in the playoffs. I don't think that they will. I hope that they don't get out of the play-in, but they starting to piss me off. I told y'all they're gonna make the playoffs, but I think to me the part where you can look at Acme and be like, if you get one piece, you're gonna have to say they're right. Is tanking destroys teams' mentality.
Yes, it does.
That's a good point.
Tanking destroys teams' mentalities. Everybody's like, look at Detroit. And I'm like, yes,
Or Philly.
Detroit got to that point.
Philly. Yeah.
But it wasn't because all of a sudden the
Philly.
tanking was out of there. It's because J.B. Bickerstaff knew how to win and showed up and started teaching them us, and you had a good coach in place that was able to get
Look at
those
Cleveland.
guys
What team?
on
What
Cleveland
team other
turned it
than
around.
Philly really we consider tanked?
half the NBA. What are you talking
No,
about?
what team really though? They're still bad.
You mean as far as when it was like the process?
The Spurs are still
Spurs.
tanking.
But they got Wemby though, and Wemby.
They
Wemby
got
healthy.
Wemby.
That's it.
Wemby healthy is going. They're going to be competitive. But outside of
They're still
Philly,
gonna tank.
what team was really bad that never rebounded?
That team
'Cause
don't
even-
realize that
'cause
they
even
got one of the
Detroit-
greatest
'cause
people
even
Philly.
to ever
Detroit
touch the floor
rebounded.
yet.
I said besides Philly. Philly's the only
The
one where
Rockets
it
tanked
didn't-
for a while.
We talking about basketball.
The
bro.
Rockets.
I said Rockets.
The Rockets
The
tanked for a
Rockets
minute.
I said
But now
Rockets.
they
What are you
back. Now they
talking
number
about?
2
Yeah, that's because
Yes,
of good coaching.
why?
because they tanked and got
No,
No,
because
Ime Udoka.
because Ime
They got a couple-
Udoka showed up.
They got a couple good players.
They had him already.
They got
They
vets.
got a real coach.
They had him already.
They got vets.
That's what I'm saying. All of
don't like
those
our coach.
pieces were there already, and Buddy was
Because
losing.
of tanking though.
No, but what I'm saying is all of those young pieces that are there right now that are cooking were already there.
Let me ask you another question.
Same as in Detroit. All those young pieces up in Detroit that are
wait a
cooking
minute,
right now.
So if
Hold on.
if Embiid
All those-
can't
let
get
me
hurt-
answer the first question. All those young pieces that were cooking in Detroit right now were there last year. The only
But they
thing you
tanked,
added
though.
was, huh?
They still all these teams still
No,
tanked.
they wasn't tanking. Detroit was trying to win last year.
No, but they tanked before
Detroit-
that.
Oh yeah, no. Detroit
Detroit was trying to win in the
Detroit
beginning of
was
this
trying to
season,
win,
and then
though.
went on the longest losing streak in
In
NBA
history.
history.
I know, but we're talking about in general. These teams still tanked at some point, and to get those players.
Yes, you
whether,
did.
Whether it took them a longer time to get those players to play or to stay healthy. Because to think about it, if Philly If Embiid didn't have as many injury issues, the tanking would have won the process. If old boy Leonard didn't hit that shot, yes it is. If Leonard didn't hit that shot, Philly was gonna win that, win that game, and they was gonna win a championship. Injuries,
I think they would have made the final.
When Toronto went.
Y'all know that was the second round,
against
right?
Golden State, right?
That was the second round. It was not
in the Eastern Conference
No,
Finals.
it was not. That was in the second round.
No, Jimmy never got to the Eastern Conference Finals.
That was the second round.
Oh, but they was gonna beat Toronto.
They were the best
when Toronto
team.
hit that shot,
That was Toronto.
I know. I said when they hit that shot, that was Philly's best chance because that was in B's healthy year. They were going to win that championship, and then we would have looked totally different on tanking.
They still got to get to the finals.
They would have beat Golden State.
They would beat Golden
Who's
State.
the ECF that year?
Cavs
in
Is that
Toronto?
Cavs?
No.
No, it's Boston and
Eastern
Toronto.
Cup?
Not
Yeah,
It's
probably
Boston and Toronto.
Yeah, I think
Boston.
it was Boston.
Boston.
The whole point is that we need the dude from Duke. And it ain't
Yeah, we're not.
Well,
we're not
I
getting
think-
flat.
not happening.
We're not getting flat.
But I think my whole point
No,
that
I don't
led
either.
to
I
that
don't agree.
the rant there was, to me, when you tank, you set your team back so far because they don't know how to win.
Right, because you have this
Losers mentality.
If we only have
You have a loser's
loser
mentality.
mentality, the
Yeah.
organization, but because if there's a possible plan, but the thing is, you got to strip it all the way down and continually build because you got a bunch of guys here that's like, you're not gonna be here next year, you're not gonna be here next year, all these guys. I'm just saying,
The Bulls?
This is like the Cleveland Indians.
What I'm saying,
This guy's dead.
This guy's dead.
we'll cross him off the list.
Most of these guys didn't have a prime. Half these guys never had a prime. This
That
guy's
guy's
dead. Then cross him off the list.
But the idea is that yes, because we have been stuck, and they believed in Zach LaVine when they shouldn't have, and it didn't pan out.
know
And
about
now
that.
you've been stuck with that. So now we got to
the best they
pivot.
could
Josh Giddey might be a bailout for them. A triple-double threat, and now you got Modest. And I was excited for Modest. I like seeing that.
Modest can play.
He could play.
Modest
It might be that it's on
Modest
him.
would be nice.
Well, the thing is, somebody's got to take the next step because, a lot of these guys are going to be retired pretty soon. LeBron's going to be gone. KD's going to be gone. A lot of these guys are turning
overall, the
over.
league's in good hands. I ain't worried about that. Chicago might not be the person that lead that.
We
conversation.
need somebody.
But that's why you're supposed to tank just a little bit to get a guy because you can't win a championship without a guy. You can't win without a
When did
without
the
a
Milwaukee-
Tatum. You
when-
can't win without a Tatum.
When
You
did the
can't win
Milwaukee
without a-
Bucks tank?
I can't remember.
They didn't.
They did.
They didn't. They just got Giannis at 15.
Because nobody thought Giannis was going to be that good.
That's great.
And that's where development comes in.
When did the Denver Nuggets tank?
They didn't.
They didn't think what's the name was going to
No,
be that.
Denver was always trying to
No,
do
they
that.
never
Took
thought.
Old Boy
They
in the
never
second
thought. Old boy was going to be that
They
good.
took-
They absolutely
They took
did.
him in the
They did
second
not.
round.
They did not.
Acme absolutely thought he was going to be that
Well,
dude.
he was the only
That's
one
why.
of a
That's why.
billion
15
people.
games into the season, they was like, "Get your butt on the court and start playing for real."
Yeah, but they had
So he's a
Nurkic
dog?
that was good too. But they
Jokic
traded.
a dog.
They
Okay, so
they
he's
traded
a
him
Jokic
to
a sleepy
Portland.
dog.
No, but he's a dog.
Jokic a sleepy dog.
No, but he's a dog.
Jokic's like,
No, but
I
he's a
gotta
dog,
bite him.
right?
I gotta bite him. But no, but like I think that like when you talk about championship
I'm
teams,
not saying blow the whole season, but I'm talking about you gotta. As my old man used to say, you gotta use your strateginka to get a good player. Strategy, but we play. It's a playoff.
I'm not saying that you're wrong in that, but I just think that we act like tanking is the only route because for the last 15 years, that's what every NBA team has tried to do, and it don't work.
Wait, only XY says, as much days off as these dudes take, the league is 100% not in good hands. I agree.
Talking about all the young talent doing all these.
They were on one of the shows today. Was like Zion Williamson is like
God.
if he's healthy, is the best player.
Bro,
in the
he's
league.
amazing.
It's like if he
He's
plays,
amazing.
He plays.
He's amazing.
If he plays.
Yeah.
He's playing.
But that's the Pelicans. He said it the other day. He was doing an interview. He said Zion Williamson could play back to backs. The New Orleans Pelicans, who Zion Williamson works for, will not let Zion Williamson play back to backs. So
Terrible.
There's
that's the league to wear. But yeah, I mean, like, listen, the teams have been tanking for the last 15 years. You would think one ring would come out of really last 20. You would think a ring would come out of it. eventually.
You know who's not
Green,
playing
but
today?
competitive.
Who?
Zion Williams.
Yeah.
But I'll take a tank if it makes me competitive. Like as much as we like championships, a competitive team to me year in and year out means I can tweak a little bit to get me over the hump.
would
But
say this.
I gotta have.
Yeah,
something
but to
first.
get to having a competitive team
Michael Jordan
through
didn't tank.
tanking, you have to literally gut everything on your team to be bad enough to get to the point where you can start winning.
You too old to be talking about
No,
tanking.
we've actually
Michael Jordan didn't tank.
Listen, we went through this.
The
before.
GOAT didn't tank. You can't sit there and say that.
You know, you're 100% right. If you look back at the champions, most of them didn't necessarily tank, but
None
they
of them
built
did.
a good team. But I mean, you think about the Kevin Garnett Celtics. That was you had to have good GMs.
Yes.
The thing is
Danny
that
Ainge did it right.
Danny,
he
well,
fleeced
he was a
fleeced him.
gambler.
That's how he got Jalen Brown and Tatum. He fleeced them.
No, but I'm
Yeah,
saying
even that
before
Boston didn't take.
But
Boston was
what-
competitive, still selecting
what-
at the top because he made good trades.
But what trades did they do before with even with Kevin Garnett? There was a lot of picks where it's like 5-6 years down the road type stuff where they mortgaging their future. Now that's the thing, you mortgage your future sometimes. I mean, you think even back to even the LA Lakers back in the day with Jerry Buss versus Red Auerbach. These dudes was pulling all kind of deals. They were building and building onto their squad. The Golden State Warriors almost made the complete perfect. They almost had a perfect run. They had built a young core. And then they not only that, they had draft picks where they were supposed to sustain themselves.
got James
the next year.
Wiseman and
Wiseman
messed it
was
up.
supposed to come through it.
messed that
James
up.
Wiseman is trash, though.
But the point was
they-
that
no, that's where they messed up.
They almost did what the Celtics tried to do back in the 80s when they got Len Bias. Like, we could extend the careers of some of these players, but they were building a squad.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times it's shrewd GM moves. And look at the old Pistons, how they made moves. Look at what even the last few years in our some of the recent teams. Danny Ainge did do a good job of not only drafting
Brown and
Tatum and Brown, but they made moves where they got Unicorn. They got the 7-foot whatever. Like, they got him from
That's not
Dallas.
Danny Ainge. That's what's his name?
Stevens. It's Brad
That's
Stevens.
Brad Stevens.
That was just after. So it was after that. Either way, you still
That was
build
Brad
up your
Stevens.
That's
squad.
his protege. You can say it's Ainge's protege.
My point is, but
Hey,
my
Brad
point-
Stevens said, "I've been coaching this team for 5 years. Give me a center."
But
What were y'all missing? We have nobody 7 feet tall on the
can't
team.
By the way,
Rebounder, yeah.
Boston
Making
just
moves.
sold for the highest
$6.1
billion.
dollars.
Dude, about $300 million. He bought it for $300 million. Sold it for $6.1.
Yeah, what a come up.
Yeah, no, I would rather that they can package and
Someone
do
did
some
Jesus.
stuff. But the problem is, we didn't have anybody that's worth any value. You know, to get somebody. To me, they should have went after. I would have rather they went back for Dame Lillard 4 years
Absolutely
prior. No, I'm talking about way. I'm talking about
the
5,
Bulls?
6. Yeah. When we were talking about the whole Zach thing, like, no, go get Dame. I'm talking about back then. No,
it would
now.
have been the another iteration of the Blazers.
Hey, Dame and Zach accomplished the same thing.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. We have to start holding this tandem to the same type of pressure and standard that we hold Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren
I've
to.
been asked for that.
I agree with
And that's because in the
Chicago's
NBA, you need a good coach that can develop. And it's a little different than the NFL. I get
don't
it.
like a
But you
coach.
need a good
You have a
coach.
whole staff,
Your coach
yeah.
has to have a full staff that knows how to develop. You have to have a GM who knows how to evaluate. Well, he has to have a scouting department that helps him scout and actually draft appropriately. You can't be taking P. Will, who didn't even start on his college team at number 4 overall
gave you that
in
a
a
while ago.
draft
Don't bring him
with
up
a bunch
again.
of. I'm just saying, you can't bring him in here.
terrible.
You know what I'm saying? You need a point guard. You got one on one leg, and you go draft this guy. Just saying, you can't do that. All of it has to come together. And the teams that do it well, that's what.
So
You see the success. The teams that don't do it well, the teams that try to buy it, look at what happens. Yeah, Philly tried to do it. It
And
didn't.
Miami did it.
What did it get him?
It got him 2 championships.
but no, he's
No.
And you're right.
That's 10 years ago.
But no,
recently,
Ah,
recently, right?
it got
take two.
him 2 more finals
Hey,
appearances.
the Suns tried to do
take
it.
it.
But
What
look,
did it get him?
But what you said is basically from top down, organization to coaching to everything else, right? Look at the
Everything.
Warriors and how they did it. They had a pretty good organization. They had good coaching, Steve Kerr. But everybody sleeps on, like, what was it, Adams, the defensive coach? Like, when they brought him in, like, we had him. We had him with
Ryan-
Thibodeau. Was it Ryan
Ryan
Adams?
Adams?
Ryan Adams.
We had him when Thibodeau was here. Then he goes to Oklahoma. Like, you got to find the right. Even with the old Bulls, it wasn't just that Mike was doing this thing with Phil Collins, right? I mean, with
Tex
Collins.
Winter?
Doug Collins.
I
Doug
can
Collins.
see it coming in the air tonight.
oh Lord,
Yeah, you too early.
way too early.
I just wanted to do the
Jesus.
drums.
I'm sorry, I was getting ahead.
No, but the point is that even still, it's the system. So the coaching. So even when Phil leaves and goes to LA, he takes his whole coaching staff. The ownership pays for that. They got players, but it's all the way from top down. The Spurs, top down, coaching to every. What do we have that we can really hold our head high here in Chicago?
That's all I have.
I mean, listen, that's what I think. That's what
yeah.
I think you're looking to see now, and that's kind of the point of the conversation is, right. You got the team that was kind of just cobbled together.
Let Montez loose.
You got now all of those pieces out of the way, and it's just like,
peacock.
hey,
Let me fly.
these guys are really playing good basketball.
So I got a question for you now, though. To get us over the hump, what do you do? Because we have a team of good players. So basically, what are we building? Are we building the Detroit, the 2000 Detroit all over again? Are we building Denver?
Well, that is what Acme said he wanted to do.
They're trying to
They're building it like
West.
Denver.
Yeah.
I know, but
Which guess what? In Denver,
you still gotta not luck, but you still gotta fall.
No, you gotta have luck.
You gotta fall into
You
a
do.
second
That's
round.
why you gotta hit on your
fall
pitch.
into a
You get a second round.
You have to hit on your pitch.
You gotta have a
Four-time
better
MVP
coach.
in the second round. That'll help.
You gotta have a better coach. What's up, Ringo?
you gotta have luck. Yeah, that is what it is. Like, no matter the situation, you have to have. You're gonna have to find a guy. Like, you think Milwaukee looked at Giannis?
Luck favors the prepared.
Facts.
All right. Oh.
But I mean, like, you feel like everybody looked at Giannis when Jabari Parker was cooking and was like, yeah, Giannis is gonna be one of the greatest players of all time.
Jimmy
they
used
were
to
like,
kill him
he's
too.
gonna develop into a really nice player that can be a number 2 to Jabari Parker.
Yep.
And then he kept developing. They were like, Jabari,
This guy.
hey,
He's got bad knees.
Hey, Jabari, how's that knee?
When Jason Kidd put him at the point guard, and I was like, oh, this kid is tall and can handle.
Yeah, I hated that. That was stupid.
Not really.
That was stupid.
Honestly, look at how he plays now. Look at what his skill set is. You couldn't put him in a half court set mostly because he had to run downhill.
Talking about Giannis.
Hey,
Jay
listen,
Kidd tried
you
make
have to
Giannis
give
a
him the
point
ball
guard.
early, so he put him in that point,
Even
and he let him run the floor.
Even Giannis said that. He was like, I didn't know what was going on. I just was
I
taking
know.
the ball.
I know.
No, you gonna give me the ball?
And Jason
All right,
Kidd was like, I know you don't know what's going on, but I know if you
Shaq
get this
could've
ball,
been
you
a
run
point
1,000
guard.
miles, you can score. That's what I know.
That's
Like,
pretty much it.
Yeah.
Nah, man. We'll see what the Bulls end up doing. I think it's
Danny
going to be
Wolf.
interesting to see. I would love a Danny Wolf
Danny
15,
Wolf.
16.
I like a Dylan Harper.
He needs to calm down and get out of the tournament. He's doing a little too much shooting. But no, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love.
missed the
Hit
part
that
where
like
we
button.
lost.
Subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
ILL. Oh, my bad.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh.
Even though you knew they were going to lose to Kentucky.
Hey.
Good effort,
Hey,
though. Good
hey.
effort.
How'd that Michigan win versus Illinois go? How'd that go?
Hey,
How'd that go?
Watch this.
How'd that go?
Big Ten champs?
How'd that Michigan win over Illinois go?
Big Ten champs?
Hey, you want to know why?
Big Ten champs?
Where's Juwan Howard?
Hey, oh, he's fighting somebody. hey, GG's.
All right,
You know what I mean?
all right, Big Ten champs.
We told you going into this game, you shouldn't have lost to us. We've been telling you all season, this team is not good.
Jesus, man.
Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.
One love.
I don't know who I got in March Madness now. Like,
Can't beat us in football, can't beat us in basketball.
all Ringo's teams lose.
Always the Illinois,
First of
too.
all, I'm not mad about the football because I keep telling us that when you're really good in football, especially in college, you have to retool, which is kind of what we did.
Did you not have
Because
Mason
we had-
Graham and Kenneth Grant
we
coming
had
up the
like-
middle?
We had 20 people get drafted from the championship.
you got Will Howard at cornerback.
Yeah,
You
Will
know,
Howard,
even the
bro.
teams you picked in professional football, son.
That's how you know.
Hey, you got 20 people get drafted, not to your team. like, nobody got drafted to the Giants.
All right.
Hey, maybe Shador saved it.
Oh, I never hit